I have 7 o'clock. We will call the town board meeting for September 16th, 2024 to order. First item on the agenda is the agenda. Patrick?
Yes, Mr. Chair, please add under old business 6C, the board will need to adopt or not adopt the appraisal we received on our Stacker Boulevard property. Also, in addition, if you do decide to accept the appraisal as it was submitted, according to Chad, we'll need to direct staff to find a real estate agent to list it with, correct?
That's one way of doing it, yeah.
Yep.
Probably the best way to do it.
Okay, thanks.
All right, is that all you have?
Yes.
Board have anything?
Nope.
Hearing none, I need a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Move to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, item 3 is approval of payment of the bills. You signed, Steve?
I signed off on payment of the bills. Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. Item 4 is approval of minutes from September 4th. Anybody have any changes?
I saw no changes. I'll move to approve the minutes of the August 19th, 2024 meeting.
August 19th? I got
September
September
4th.
4th.
Excuse me? Oh, mine says August 19th. When you? Oh, I'm on the wrong meeting. How's that? It jumped on me. Forget that.
See, you tried to help him?
Should have kept going, and he wouldn't have known
Well,
otherwise.
I think it was the town clerk that called up my wrong meeting for me. But no, I changed
Getting
it.
thrown under the bus.
Throw me under. I'll throw him under the bus.
That's fine.
Well, anyway.
All right. So you still want to?
Yeah, I did read them.
All right. Motion made and second. All in favor, say aye.
I
Aye.
All right. 5 is a consent agenda item. We have, boy, what about 8 of them, 9 of them? Anybody have any issues with them? Otherwise, I would look for a motion to approve.
so moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, that brings us to item 6, which is old business. First one is Township Days, and our Beth Anderson, our event coordinator, is going to give us a little presentation.
Ready from here?
Now, you want to come up here, you just have to state your name and address for the record.
Podium.
Podium.
Podium there with the mic.
You're somebody now, Beth.
Yes, you are.
Cool. Hello, I'm Beth Anderson, Township Days and Movies in the Park Event Director. So this weekend is our annual Township Day. Everyone pray your fingers. Pray your fingers. That's going to be a word for good weather. So hopefully everything is good. This year we have some great things. We have over 15 different food vendors that will be there, which is more than last year. And over 20 different art vendors that will be there, which is also an increase from last year. We have some fun new activities. The Boy Scouts will be out there. We actually have the Girl Scouts. We just confirmed them over the weekend, so they'll be out there as well. We'll have archery demonstrations. We'll have Tamarack Nature Center out there doing the owl demonstrations and all the other animals they bring out. We'll have our sandboxes. We'll have the Touch-A Truck with fire trucks and police cars and all the things that my 3-year-old son is obsessed about. So he will be out there touching all the vehicles. And then we do have, they're called like the aerialists. So they're the ones that do like the ribbon dancing and things that you see. So they're actually going to be performing on our main stage at 3 o'clock. And then we have our main band that will be performing at 5 with fireworks following at 8. So it should be a really fun event. I do have maps if anyone wants maps that has the list of all of the vendors that will be out there too, if anyone's interested.
And no finding parking lots of private property, right, Ed?
Do what?
To watch from other private property.
Never mind.
Never mind.
So for the public that's listening, where is the handicap parking?
Handicap parking will be right in front of the main building that's down there, the town hall building. That is where handicap parking will be.
Okay.
And that will be blocked off and labeled for handicap. And then all the other parking lots that are in the area, most of them are available like years past, or street parking as well. Starts at 2 o'clock, fireworks at 8.
Tom, questions, comments? Steve, I mean, you've been dealing with this, with the park board forever, so.
Yeah, we have one more meeting on Thursday of this week to make sure all the loose ends are taken care of, which we haven't had any. We've got confirmation on everything. Last year, we did have an issue with our vendor for the bounce house and things. They quit early because there was no lighting. We've taken care of that for this year, so we should not have that issue that we had last year. So I think we've corrected any of the issues we saw before and looking forward to a clean bill of health for this one.
The bounce house, he did reach out to me today saying that if we do get rain, he wouldn't be coming out just because the stakes that he puts into the ground, so the box
Oh,
has
sure.
stone
Yep.
fly away, tend to be a little bit more difficult when the ground is a little soggy, so him and I obviously are in communication, but that would be the only reason that he wouldn't be out there this year, is just whether.
Were they planning on, if there is rain, no, normally the car show is in the soccer fields?
Yep.
Are they looking to move it back down? Do they have room to even put it in the,
We do, so our alternative plan is we can fit about 100 cars in that lower lot of the parking lots. And then there is that overflow parking kind of right behind the stage that is that flat kind of gravel area that could accommodate another 40 to 50 cars, which right now we're at about 160 cars. So if we do get bad weather or we can't use those lots, we do have alternative parking for as many of the cars.
when are you gonna make that decision though? Problem is,
24 hours in advance. Well,
Okay,
our
okay.
goal is 24 hours in advance, but that morning, again, if we're thinking, we all
Sure.
know Minnesota, it looks sunny, and then all of a sudden at 10 a.m. we see some storms coming through, the cars don't show up until noon that day. So we are able to, as long as we know by noon when cars arrive, kind of where we're putting people, we'll be able to make that decision.
okay.
And are you looking for volunteers to help in any way, shape, or
I think right now
form?
we're okay with volunteers.
Okay.
Yep, with just getting people in and out, we should be okay.
Okay.
If
Right.
somebody really wants to volunteer, I've never said no.
All right, board, any other questions or comments? All right, thanks, Beth.
Yeah, appreciate it, Beth.
We'll cross our fingers for good
Yeah,
weather.
we'll cross your fingers.
Yes.
Does anyone want a map or anything? Do you guys want to see anything? Or
I think I have copies.
Yeah, I've got
I do
copies,
have
yeah.
copies. I'll leave them here for anyone that wants one.
Excellent.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah, and just let me know.
I will.
Is that changed?
All right, moving on.
Thank you.
6B on old business is the North Oaks Company LLC update.
Yeah,
You gonna
Mr.
handle
Chair,
that?
it doesn't look like we've got representatives from there this evening. So I encouraged LLC to come out and have a discussion with the board, reminding everybody of what the obligations were to be achieved in order to go forward with hooking up to water in the township.
Now, this is at Red Pine,
Yes, yep,
which is basically in North Oaks, west of the condos.
correct. And so I asked them to come here because they were saying that they were going to be doing the water thing this week, but they were reminded that they were going to be needing acknowledgement from two different organizations, one being the City of North Oaks, two being the Met Council. I did not hear about either one yet. So that's probably why they're not here.
I was gonna say, I don't want to speculate, but I wonder if they've got a hang up with Met Council, because they've been bouncing back and forth.
Yep. So I did encourage those representatives, when status changes, to please contact the township. We do have public works going out there every day, so.
All right, so with this just an update, we don't need to continue this, we'll just wait, see what progresses?
Yep.
All right, board, have any questions on this?
Nope.
All right, hearing none, let's move on. Item 6C, the appraisal for Stacker Boulevard.
Yeah, so I did email these. I do have extra copies if you need them. But the appraisal came through that Chad coordinated a couple weeks ago. Did come through last week. You'll find that the appraised value of our Stacker Boulevard property came in at $140,000. The way I understand it, from what Chad has told me, is that the only thing that the board really needs to do tonight by resolution is acknowledge that you have received the appraisal. And number two, if so desired, and you have approved that, direct staff to put the property out for sale and with a real estate agent.
That's correct, that's correct.
Okay.
Okay, so simply accept it, that's it.
Yeah,
And
so
then
you need a motion to accept the appraisal.
accept the appraisal.
Correct.
I will move that.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
And then do we want to,
By that resolution, I would assume you want to direct staff to go through the process of listing the property.
do we? I'm in no hurry.
You can always wait. It's
Yeah.
your call.
Well, this is not exactly the ideal time to be putting property on the market either.
I think any
anybody's-
time is ideal in this town right now,
That's true.
which is a good thing, unless you're buying.
Well, I would like to table that part of this until we have our exec meeting and talk about it a little.
Oh, sure. Okay.
That would be my recommendation.
That's easy.
Prefer to do that.
Was going to suggest the same thing, so rather than go into discussion, I'll make a motion to continue this topic until the September executive meeting.
Okay.
Tom but that's the second part of this. The first part
I did.
we went,
Didn't I?
the first part
Yes, you did that.
We did,
You've already done that.
This is just the second part.
Yep.
I'll second what Tom just said.
Okay.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Just one question, Chad. Yeah, there was some talk originally that we couldn't sell for under the appraised value. Can you confirm that for us
There is no statute or case law that says you have to sell it for the market, for the appraised value.
Okay,
If we were purchasing property, we cannot go more than the appraised
If you're, yeah,
price.
if you're purchasing, you can't exceed the appraised value. But in the case of sale, you have the option.
And I would assume that final word or first right of refusal is the board's as to any offer on the
Yes.
property.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the buyer is making the offer and it's up to the board then to accept it.
Okay.
Which we'll do that in a closed meeting.
Okay, so another quick question is relates to this. A couple board meetings ago, we had a couple that were interested in purchasing it. Do we have to formally I don't remember how we left it with them. Did we say we were, I know we were going to we tabled it. We were going to get an appraisal, so we should probably advise them of,
I already did.
It'd be fair.
okay, that's perfect.
all right, anything else?
No.
All right, hearing none. We have no public hearing, that's 7. 8 is new business. We just went through the added agendas. Come to open time. I see we have some folks in the audience. If anyone would like to discuss anything, you have to come to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
My name is Liz Ander, 5830 Portland Avenue. I'm here because I am concerned about the talks with the city of White Bear Lake and the fire service agreement that's going on. Full transparency, my husband is served the White Bear Township for 20 years as a paramedic and as a firefighter. That's not the reason why I'm here. The reason I'm here is because I know about it, and that's inside scoop really that I have, and I don't feel that a lot of township citizens probably understand what's going on. And I really would like to encourage you to come to an agreement with the city of White Bear Lake, and I'm interested in what the latest is there, because going to Lino Lakes is absolutely not an option for the safety of our citizens, for our homes, for our small businesses. It's not going to be a viable option to have someone driving an ambulance or fire truck from Lino Lakes to the south end of White Bear Township, where we have residents down by off of Bel Air, right? So I really would encourage you to, stop those resources. And I'm curious if you could give an update as to where we're at on the talks with the city of White Bear. Patrick's been really great about being responsive, and I really do appreciate that, and being transparent with what's going on. I've read all of the notes. I fully understand that, you served with something that you weren't planning on. There's a lot of history there as to what was needed for the fire station and the outstanding service that the White Bear Fire Department serves our township with. And there's a reasons, and they've definitely upgraded their services as far as going to full time, and that's why they needed the station and things like that. So I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of that. I want to bring awareness to it. I don't want to have to start talking to some of my neighbors about this. No one's really aware that this is going on. But as a citizen, I'm greatly concerned that this much time and resources is going into potentially looking into a solution that is really not viable, with going out to other nearby cities that would cover our township for fire.
Okay, well, kind of to start with, this is more of a budget issue than it is eventually, if something does change, it will go to our Public Safety Commission to review. But still, all our options are still on the table right now. And in fact, because our attorney is also dealing with the City of White Bear Lake's attorney, we're a little bit hand-tied about talking about this too much, only because this is a contract dispute, which affects our budget, obviously, and it also affects the City of White Bear's budget.
Yeah, so what can be done, like, I'm not familiar if you're going out with a levy for this next voting cycle or anything like that, but like, what can be done now, right? Like, they came to you with that a year ago, so now I don't know how much has been pushed since then, other than talk.
Can I just say one thing before you continue? Just in response, that nobody on this board or staff has a problem with the service.
Sure, yes, that's very clear.
We find it all to be excellent.
Yep.
Our public
Yep,
safety.
I didn't feel that in any of the notes either.
I just wanted to make sure that
Thank
was
you.
clear. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, guys.
Well, and not only that, we weren't informed of this in a timely manner. This came to us, I think, a month before our budget was supposed to be set. So there was no time to allot a lot of money. It's $182,000 a year for 20 years.
20 years.
Which is about $4 million. That's a big chunk of money for our public safety for our town residents. So that has to be taken seriously. And we are taking that seriously.
Yep.
But as of right now, we're still in negotiations.
Yes.
So, and I very much appreciate you watching out for our money, right? But it honestly is not going to be any cheaper to go to Van Ness Heights. You've already realized that. It's not going to be any cheaper to go to Lionel Lakes. You're going to increase our insurance costs if you would go to Lionel Lakes, because you need to have a fire department that has a
Would you like to
6-minute
respond to that,
response
Mr. Insurance Guy?
to your residents, right?
Well, first off, if you don't mind, I think you're speaking without having the foundation for the actual knowledge of what we've been told we can get via other services. Well, I realize that, but you're not a subject matter expert. We don't. I sit on the board and I can't tell you what Van Ness Heights, Lionel Lakes, or anybody else has said as far as what services and costs would be, because we're not at that point. It's a contract. We're looking at it.
I actually have been notified by Patrick that the Van Ness Heights is out of budget. So I'm actually very knowledgeable
The Lionel
on this
Lakes,
subject.
we don't have any clue with Lionel Lakes.
And I have
So
not
Lionel Lakes
seen.
is hired their own consulting firm, is my understanding. Hopefully, we're not paying for that, but to find out what that would look like. So I actually am very knowledgeable on this
Well,
subject.
it comes down to, there's been no formal discussion at a board level
Sure.
of any outside service other than White Bear. And so that's why I said it's a contract matter, and we've got to keep it as such because it has terms. And if either side disagrees that the terms of the contract are being followed, they have to discuss to get through that. Is it one? Are they following the rules on either side on items of importance as it relates to the contract? And that's what the discussion has been, as far as I know, is contract discussion.
It's strictly a contract discussion. It's a dispute over one term of the contract.
So my understanding from my reading is that the dispute is on the interest.
On debt service.
That service, yeah,
The
that's
interest
accurate.
on what they paid for the fire station, which it is, the township pays the city for, like, if they buy a new fire truck, they needed a new fire station, so that would fall into that.
Actually, how it works is, as part of the pricing component, is straight line depreciation of the equipment and buildings over their useful life.
And we do that.
And that's clear, that's very clear, it's explicit in the contract, we all agree with that. The question is, what depreciation are they talking about? How are they calculating the depreciation? And that's the key dispute right now.
So you're saying over 20 years, you shouldn't have to pay $200,000 like in 20 years from now because the building is depreciated? Or just so I fully understand the depreciation piece?
What they're saying is, building is obviously new, we know that.
Yep.
And they're depreciating over 20 years. Fine. That's, according to our finance director, that's an acceptable, useful life for the building. It's a question of what are they using in terms of actual physical costs to calculate that depreciation. That's where the dispute stands right now.
Okay. So what's the next steps and how?
Keep talking.
Keep talking, yeah.
Yep.
And neither White Bear Lake or the township have in any way foreclosed further discussion. It's ongoing. I will say this, for a while there, we weren't getting a very good response from the city. That has changed. The city has become quite more responsive, and I appreciate that. We now understand their position.
So what?
We just don't agree with it.
We just don't agree with, we don't agree with their calculations.
So they've come to terms with all the other municipalities.
Well, keep in mind, not necessarily, but also keep in mind the fact that of the other municipalities, the township pays 28.4% of the actual costs.
Right, because you're larger.
We're the larger.
Yep.
Yeah, and so the rest of them pay much smaller percentages. So to them, it's not worth arguing about. To the township, it's a different it's quite different. It is worth arguing about. It's a sizable amount of money. Given the size of the budget of the township, it's important. It's a material issue in the budget, which has to be dealt with.
So what can I do as a citizen who's definitely does not want you to go to anyone else when White Bear Lake is right down the road and they're full time and they're going to respond way quicker than anyone else is?
We've taken all that into consideration.
Yeah.
All that is on the table. Nothing's been eliminated.
It surprises me that you would go to Lino Lakes and even consider.
You keep saying go, go, go. All-
game that you're going
When
to
we have a
the
con,
city, right?
you gotta listen to me now. When we have contract disputes or contracts that look too high, we go out and look around to make sure we're getting the bang for our buck. That's exactly what this board is supposed to do.
You do on a regular basis. You go to RFP for fire service.
We've tried it with police, and look, we're a very conscientious board. We're very frugal, and we watch every dollar. That's our responsibility. And that it would, if we didn't do our due diligence, the residents would have worse of a problem than us jumping around. Right now, a little bit of shopping does not hurt the township. And right now where we're at is in negotiations. Our lawyers are talking to their lawyers. I've been talking to the mayor. We're still talking.
Just so we're clear, neither side has burned any bridges. We're still talking. May get a little heated at times, but I will say this, both sides have been very civil with each other. And I think the discussions have been constructive, but we have not reached a resolution.
Sure.
And we do have some deadlines that
For
are
or
coming
against,
up. and
exactly.
We will have some resolutions coming up.
Yeah.
What our path will be is probably in the next month or so.
Okay, great. And I mean, I guess I'm just saying, like, as a citizen, right? I would pay $50 more in taxes if it meant my insurance wasn't going to go up because you're not going to another fire department.
But see, I don't know that. I can't speak to that.
No.
And Steve's an insurance guy. This is our insurance
Yes,
expert.
you need a fire station within 6 minutes of your home or your insurance goes up.
Well, that 6 minutes is arbitrary number for calls for service too.
It's probably an insurance company.
Actually, it's not. The fire departments have to tell you what their response.
Well, that's true. And I've sat in meetings where the response time isn't that good, so.
Yeah, no, but you should be comparing what the response time would be from the city of White Bear Lake and what the response time would be from Lino Lakes.
Oh, yeah. We're very well aware of the geographic problems with separating or
Right, which is
getting
very-
away
I mean,
from.
just,
So
like,
it's
I would ask you to concentrate on moving along those talks with White Bear, knowing that's really, honestly, the most viable solution for your citizens.
And we take all input into consideration.
I agree.
this is back on our exec agenda. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we've been in
So are
discussion for
executive
some.
meetings public?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Just not televised.
So will that be on this month's executive?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
What's the date of that?
Under,
27th.
yeah, a week from this Friday. So you understand that in the event the city litigates this matter, starts a lawsuit, we will be that will no longer be open session. That'll be closed session. All litigation is closed.
So nothing I can do about it.
Provide feedback.
Sure.
Yeah. It's
Tell the
just
city
no
to
open
accept
meeting,
our
no
numbers.
And they would probably.
I say that tongue in cheek. I say that.
I'm not on
No,
anyone's side.
excuse me.
I'm just saying, I really think it's important to come to an agreement.
Just so the last state of my mind was tongue in cheek because, again, we respect the city. I hope they respect our position too.
Yes.
We respect theirs. I expect them to respect ours.
As any citizen is listening to what you said and what we've said, we're not dissatisfied with the service. If it was that, we would be doing that regularly. It's just a contract matter that needs to have discussion. And we're still in the discussion because the contract also dictates how this thing gets resolved eventually, one way or the other. But it's all in the contract. At this point, we're talking. Fair?
Okay.
All right, well, thank you. All right, anyone else? White Bear Press?
Hi, Logan Guion, Gion, 12599 Europe Avenue North, Hugo, Minnesota. I am here because I have a funny question to ask.
You want a funny answer, Logan?
What?
You want a funny answer?
You're gonna laugh at the question, and I don't know what the answer is gonna be.
Nah.
But
Take it seriously, don't worry.
What?
We'll take it seriously, don't worry.
Oh, okay. So, in the last maybe 2 township meetings ago, you mentioned an item about the medians on Highway 96 and how you are looking with Vadnais Heights to help restore the conditions of them. And you in my opinion, watching, very clearly said, early stages, early days, we'll get back to you when we have something newsworthy. So I didn't even put it in the notes. Lo and behold, we get a letter to the editor this week that's printed and said, they're so ugly. I hate these medians. And I was like, oh, okay, well, if people are publicly complaining about it, I have no control. I have no idea what goes into the letter to the editor. So I asked my editor, and she said, yeah, follow up with them, see if there's anything. So here I am asking you about medians again. And I didn't expect that to be a theme of my life when I started the year. But here we are. So has there been any forward movement on the joint agreement? I'm not sure if that term is correct, but the joint venture with Vadnais Heights on the 96 islands.
So what the board asked at the last meeting was for staff to follow up as to see if there was a formal bidding process that gave us the cost share approximation that would be with Vadnais Heights. There wasn't. There was only one bid, and it was for roughly $104,000. And what they're looking for is a split 50-50 to help those medians, essentially. They also asked that Chad look into a maintenance agreement that we had. Was it with the county? It was with
Actually, yes, with when 96 was rebuilt, there was an agreement regarding that intersection.
Yep. Got
with
that
the county.
Yep.
And I read it, and there's a question as to who is actually responsible to maintain those medians. Because they refer to documents that only the county seems to have. So we'll have to get a hold of those.
Okay.
We're talking, when I say document, I'm talking about the contract documents.
Contract document.
So, yeah, I'll let Pat handle it, but, I've looked at the contract, and there's a question as to who's responsible for. In fact, actually, I don't think there's really a question. It's pretty clear who's responsible. But to pin it down completely, we have to get some more detailed contract documents from the county to really answer the question.
That makes sense.
So I'll make a comment. When it first came up a couple meetings ago, I think it took us by surprise that the township or Vadnais Heights, because that's where it really originated from, had much to say in it, because it was a state highway turned back to the county and rebuilt by the county.
Yes.
So the legalities of it, we had to spend some time doing it, and that's what Chad's role and responsibility is, as directed by the board, to see who is legally responsible for that. And so that's why these things take a while. But having said that, we know it's a gateway into our communities. We're not proud of it. I thought it was the county's responsibility all along. So it has changed dramatically because of the emerald ash. As an example, they had planted tons of trees along that boulevard, and most of which were moved.
Gone.
Then there was the communities of Arden Hills and Shoreview, who have taken a very aggressive approach in their community and put in prairie grasses and native things. Again, they maintain it. Maybe, I don't know if they paid for it. Maybe the county paid for it. I don't know that, but that's all the stuff we have to find out. So we have not slammed the door on it as far as I know.
Yeah, we haven't.
Right, and that certainly wasn't the question. I was more. I thought you guys were clear in a couple meetings ago that it was on its way, but these things take time, and
Well, part of the problem with, when we deal with the county, they have a lot of turnover. It seems like just we're on a path to get something resolved, that leadership changes, and then we're starting all over.
Yes.
There was I was here, well, not here, but watched the meeting with the H2 illegal parking issue, and that was similar, it seemed, where it's a county road, is it, how much do you guys do? And you don't want to set a precedent, so I definitely understand that. On that matter, this is, again, not asking, legality-wise, I don't want to create any ethical quandaries for you all. But there have been a couple of instances in previous meetings where I feel it's necessary to report on things, and then some of the report is there's nothing to report yet. So I'm not looking for you to tell me, but if you have ideas, for instance, I don't know if you know this, but there was a recent dispute with a contract dispute with fire that I reported on, and it's I think everyone said we just have a difference of opinion. It's open session because it's not litigation. That was all pretty well explained, but do I even report on that? I guess that's kind of my open-ended question.
I was going to say, that's your call, Logan.
Yeah, I don't. No, there's no way in the world we're going to tell you what to report, what not to report.
All right.
If it's in our meeting notes, if you feel it's valuable, it's public information, so you should report what you feel is important from our meetings.
Fair enough. I understand that. My concern is I don't want it to get overblown into something it's not. So.
Anything that's gets a formal motion and passes, that's now law. Any other discussions like we just talked about that are forwarded on to exec meeting, that could be another 3 months of talk. So,
Yeah.
That was actually the answer I was looking for. So I didn't know I needed that answer. I think that's everything. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, Logan, before you walk off, I think you have communicated with Patrick as our administrator. Between you two, probably can pretty much decide what.
Yep. Happy to answer your questions.
Answer your behind-the-scene questions about where it's at, and then you can determine whether you want to report it or not.
Well, and this can go on record. Patrick has been really great at pointing me to the person that is best to talk to, and just actually the desk staff as well. Especially, I had to do a brief thing on Township Day this Saturday, and the desk was like, "Oh, you want Beth? She's the events director. You want this person, that person." So yeah, the staff has been fantastic.
well, we just don't want to have a middleman and get confusing stories. You go right to the source, then you got it exactly where it's supposed to be.
Can you come and say that stuff when it's my annual?
No, don't.
No, because I have a bone to pick with you, Patrick. Okay. In July, you said, "Keep White Bear Township boring." And I said, that sounds great. I have written an article about White Bear Township every 2 weeks since then. So I don't feel you've.
So I'm going to shut up now.
Yeah, I don't feel you've made good on that.
Yeah. How misleading.
Yeah.
All right, thanks,
Thanks,
Logan.
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 All right, anyone else? Going once, going twice. All right, we're going to move on. I need a motion to receive agenda material and supplements.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None. The motion carries. I need a motion to adjourn at 7:33.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
That's the alarm to stop. Thanks, guys.
All right, we are adjourned.